Adrian College Television would like to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Carlton Lodge of Adrian. Carlton Lodge is sponsoring all ACTV broadcasts during the 2021 to 2022 school year. Located at 1629 West Maumee in Adrian, Carlton Lodge offers comfortable rooms and suites at affordable rates. There's also a heated indoor and outdoor pool, along with a 24-hour fitness center. Thank you for the continued support toward Adrian College Television.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Got an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
Bulldog fans, connect with Adrian College TV on social media to be updated when we're broadcasting live, to see highlights, plays of the week, and much more. Adrian College Television is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ACTV's handle is at Adrian College TV on every form of social media. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to the home of the Bulldogs, Adrian College TV.
Adrian College has once again been recognized for its commitment to engaged, experiential education by Colleges of Distinction, a one-of-a-kind guide for college-bound students. While higher education has changed over the past 20 years, Colleges of Distinction's selection process has stayed consistent in accepting only those that adhere to the 4 distinctions: engaged students, great teaching, vibrant community, and successful outcomes. Overlaid in the last few years have been a look into high-impact practices. They believe most critical to the student experience were the kinds of engaging experience that are found at Adrian College. To learn more, please visit adrian.edu.
I'm Matt Kibbe, the current student body president here at Adrian College. I chose AC because the campus simply feels like home. Everywhere I go, I know the amenities are there to help me succeed and get to the next level in my career. If you want to see what Adrian College has to offer, you can schedule an in-person visit at adrian.edu/campus-visit. crosses over, back onto the far side. Rips a shot, she scores!
What if you didn't choose to become an Adrian College Bulldog? Surely you would have carried on with your education and could potentially be graduating elsewhere. But what would you have the honor of greeting Bruiser on campus? Would you have had the privilege of working alongside faculty that know your name? Would you have had the opportunity to learn and grow in an environment that is seeking the truth and dignity in all people? Would you have had a creative learning environment that is supportive of challenging you and achieving excellence in your academics, but also your personal and professional lives? This has been Adrian College's promise to us. Just as our families have promised to love us unconditionally and support us through the many peaks and valleys of our lives, Adrian offered a similar promise to us when they realized our potential by asking us to join them. While we have been busy navigating the many what-ifs of our time, none of which we could have imagined, we have indeed found the cane that holds our ribbons of excellence at Adrian to stand strong. Strength and tradition. A tradition that carries on from graduating class to graduating class. A symbolic reminder of the leadership carrying the motto, no victory without work. The Adrian College class of 2021 can proudly proclaim that we have earned our ribbon of excellence for persevering through a pandemic because of our hard work. We have had to learn how to best navigate the many what-ifs in uncharted times. While some of the what-ifs have been answered, it is now up to each of us to embrace and navigate on our own. What if I take that job? What if I decide to continue on for postgraduate endeavors? What if I decide this? What if I decide that? No matter what, you'll be able to face your tomorrow knowing that you are a member of a pack, the Adrian College Bulldogs class of 2021.
Part of the family here at Adrian College are the friends we've made. These friends have gone to games with you, shared late night tales with you, explored downtown with you, and joked around with you at Ritchie. They were in the library with you at midnight studying for the 8 a.m. exam you forgot to study for. And they're there when you cried because you failed that exam. These friends are your new family members now. You will stay in touch with them forever, even if it's just liking their Facebook post about the new puppy they just got. Parents, family, and friends, we cannot thank you enough for everything you have done for us. Thank you for the support and the opportunity for this moment to graduate from Adrian College. You have helped us reach our dreams and goals in life. Congratulations, class of 2021. We finally made it.
Adrian College is looking for leaders, student athletes with the tenacity to keep the Bulldogs at the top, the forefront, in and out of the classroom. The Bulldogs are looking for talent, character, hard work, grit, leaders who can electrify sold-out crowds, got out a last-line shift, will their team to victory, hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, and be a part of a legend in the making. Think you have what it takes to become a Bulldog? Visit adrian.edu to learn more.
Adrian College has dozens of athletics programs, and winning is a staple on our campus. We have the culture of winning in and out of the classroom. This is a place where young men and women grow into professionals for life. Are you interested in learning more about the Bulldog experience? Visit adrianbulldogs.com and the Recruit Me tab to be recruited to play your sport of choice today. If you have what it takes, you could be a Bulldog in no time.
You're going to college. All the hard work's paid off. It's going to be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. New friends, new athletic teams, new musical groups, new student government to get involved in, 85 organizations. It's going to be amazing. And I think one of the first things that you'll realize when you get here, at least I hope this is the case, is that although academics are the most important thing, no doubt about it, got to take care of the academics, time management, not a kid anymore, right? Young adult. The college is a whole lot more than that in a place like this. It is an experience. College is an experience that will last you for the rest of your life. The relationships that you make here, the memories, the late night stuff, the whole 9 yards is just going to be great.
Adrian College is a pinpoint like no other. With our 77 undergraduate degrees, 47 majors, and 21 broad fields of study, Adrian has a one-of-a-kind, hands-on learning experience for everyone. Do you want to visit the campus of Adrian College in person? Visit adrian.edu/campus-visit. Again, that's adrian.edu/campus-visit. Come take in the beautiful facilities at Adrian College for yourself.
If there was one word I was going to use to describe the communication arts program at Adrian College, it would be unique. Students find themselves on the radio, in front of and behind the camera, and directing their own programs. Students learn in a personalized environment that sets them up for a world of opportunities. Are you ready for your moment in the limelight? Learn more about the Rush Communications Center and Adrian College's communications program by visiting adrian.edu today. Adrian College is looking for leaders, student athletes with the tenacity to keep the Bulldogs at the top, the forefront, in and out of the classroom. The Bulldogs are looking for talent, character, hard work, grit, leaders who can electrify sold-out crowds, gut out a last-line shift, will their team to victory, hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, and be a part of a legend in the making. Think you have what it takes to become a Bulldog? Visit adrian.edu to learn more.
You stand today, students, on the threshold of one of the most magical times in your life. A time of great significance, of growth, introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time that you will always look back on as very special years. Never experienced before you arrived today and never replicated after you leave.
We continue to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today. 161 years of commitment to harnessing the power of creativity, ingenuity, community, and academic excellence.
I believe that if you get your degree here, the world is going to feel like it's shrinking.
Hello and welcome to Docking Family Stadium on the campus of Adrian College. History in the making here today. The first women's rugby match and first home rugby match in school history here on the campus of Adrian College. Matt Kibbe, Destin Foy with you in the booth. We'll bring you along for this one, and I'm going to be honest with you folks. We're learning as we go today. First time seeing this sport, and, well, we're going to try and get through it the best we can. We'll go over the format here in a few short moments, but to give you an idea, we are playing 7-on-7 rugby, and this will be the start. History will begin in a few short seconds here at Docking Family Stadium. The opening kick, and we are good, I think. Clock is running. We assume this means good things.
Look like she's advancing the ball.
So this starts it.
On the move.
Here we go. University of Michigan taking on the Adrian College Bulldogs in this women's rugby matchup. A lot of space taken away here, running up the sideline now. It's down, picked up, and tossed back. No forward movement with the pass or kicks. It must be lateral perpendicular or behind.
Okay.
You cannot advance it forward. It must be behind or to your direct side. That is something that I watched and learned after talking to the coaching staff for both the men's and women's team. And we'll have our first scrum. I did learn that terminology as well.
Awesome.
This is a scrum. Ball has to go through the legs and come back, and now Michigan is able to progress. 7-on-7 matchup here, the first of 3 games here on the HCTV. There's a down ball, and it's sat on the turf, picked up and sent back away. No rosters for us today because of the uniqueness of rugby. Numbers are based on your position that you have, so we don't have that. So it's just going to be me and Destin having a little bit of a conversation with you here. Already about 90 seconds gone and out of bounds.
Okay.
They will stay in possession of the Wolverines, it looks like. This has to be a throw-in. Okay, here's something cool, Destin. So they're going to line up here next to each other. We're going to see some aerial movements. Think acrobatics and tumbling. They have to lift each other up and try and grab the ball. Here we go. This is we're just having fun here today. There it is.
Okay.
Sent up and knocked back down. Bulldogs looking for possession. Falls on top of it, and then it falls out of bounds again. So we're going to do... It will stay in possession of Adrian.
Okay.
At the 30-yard line for the football field. They're playing on what is technically the soccer lines. That yellow line are for soccer matchups, but the field dimensions work. I think the only difference between a true traditional rugby field and then what field we're playing on here, the multi-purpose turf here at Docking Family Stadium, is honestly just the goalpost. I think they're a little bit wider than the traditional rugby post.
Okay.
But still be able to use them. Adrian trying to progress and look for their first try in program history.
They're getting up the field a little bit right now.
They are. They only have to get so the traditional, you just have to get into the end zone. The end zone for football is the same as the try zone for rugby, and taken down here was looking for it were the Bulldogs. And there's a call. Adrian will keep possession of it. Seeing a lot of movement here. Michigan defending the line. Back into the try zone. And it is a try. Yep, it is a try for Adrian with 3:25 left to go. Don't be alarmed by the scoreboard, folks. It's going to say touchdown, but it is only worth 5 points. So you're going to see touchdown pop up onto the screen. That's because our program, because of rugby's non-traditional list in the States, I should say, we see that we can only use our touchdown scoreboard.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see touchdown on for a try, only worth 5 points. There is a chance for 2 more points here. Essentially, what is about a 35-yard field goal, but it's from an angle.
Okay.
Here it is. And it is going to be about 10 yards short, so the score will remain 5-0 here. Clock continues to run here in 7 minutes, 7 on 7, or what is known as sevens. 2:15 left in this first half of what will be 3 games today on ACTV. This first game, Adrian versus the University of Michigan. The second game, because the University of Michigan has a much bigger roster, they're actually going to play each other. That will give us a chance to learn a little bit more about the game. And then the third game, again, will be against Adrian and the University of Michigan.
Okay. Interesting little format we got here today.
It is. Traditionally, you play 15 on 15.
Okay.
And I believe those are 2 either 30 or 40-minute halves. So we see a little bit traditional taken away here. This is an Olympic sport. I don't know if you knew that, Destin. This is an Olympic sport. 7 on 7 is an Olympic sport. University of Michigan trying to tie this game back up. Taken down at about the 30-yard line of the football field. A lateral over. Michigan still has possession of it. A good tackle on the far side. And rugby, physicality, a mixture of a bunch of different sports put all into one. And that is exactly what we're seeing here today. Ball is on the turf. Adrian trying to find possession of it. Physicality is getting up here. 1 minute left to go here in the first half of game number 1. We'll have about a 5-minute halftime for the two teams to get reset and re-energized. Michigan trying to tie it back up before the half ends. Coming to the near side. Breaking free, finding room are the Wolverines. The Wolverines heading in to the try zone, and they're going to get it. This game is once again tied up at 5.
That was a nice drive for Michigan right there.
There's our football terminology coming in, Destin. A drive. Really good speed on the outside. Came all the way from the far side of the field. Brought it back. And right then and there, it was good. So now we have the point after attempt. And it hits the uprights. So it will remain 5-5. Now, here's my question. Is this where we see a soccer implementation? And the clock has hit 0. The clock has hit 0. Is there extra time because there was a try attempt? Essentially, what is extra time? We'll see. There's going to be I believe I'm going to call it a kickoff. Onto the near side. Adrian looking for possession of it. Michigan picks it up, and they're headed in. Trying to take the lead. No time up on the board, and this will be another try. So it's now 10-5 in favor of the University of Michigan. No time up on the board in the first half. It's a good opportunity for us to mention, if you're watching on the live stream and you know a thing or two about rugby,
please let us know.
Please use the chat feature. We turned it on for this reason. You can also find me and Destin on Twitter, and it is now halftime. But so this gives me a quick opportunity. We'll clear the scoreboard. We are in the half. The score 10-5 in favor of the University of Michigan. You can see this is who's talking to you today. I'm Matt Kibbe, joined by Destin Foy. You can find our Twitters there. Please let us know how this game works. We're trying to figure it out as we go. Like I said,
We'd love to know.
we know a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah.
We know a little bit. We're trying to figure it out. But still trying to learn, still trying to adapt to what is new to everyone here. The athletic director, Mike Duffy, is here, and he was looking at me this morning saying, I don't know. We're just here. We like bringing in new sports. We like bringing in non-traditional sports. See that with rowing. Acrobatics and tumbling is another one that we have that not a lot of schools do. Now bringing in rugby, which has been growing over the course of time, but finally here at Adrian College. You remember the purchase of the West Beecher facility. That's over on the other side of 223. Mm-hmm. That's where they're traditionally going to play out of. Right now there's a temporary field set up on the back 40 for them to practice on, but games taking place at Docking Stadium, one, for our ease because we got all the equipment here, and then
right.
Two, look at how can you not want to play at Docking Stadium?
It's beautiful.
That's right.
And it's just awesome that Adrian offers so many different sports. It gives a lot of people so much to do, so much team environments. It's a great day to be a Bulldog. That's all I have to say.
Here we go. We got our first help. Robert Precious, men's soccer player here.
Okay.
Coming in, knows soccer, but also knows a little bit about rugby, letting us know that at the end of the half, when the clock hits 0, you play until that ball goes out of bounds.
Okay.
Once that, or in this case, I guess, the try? Robert, does the try consider it out of bounds or the play over? As we learn more, we'll let you sit back and talk to us a little bit. 20 seconds until we get going for half number 2 of game number 1. Score 10-5 in favor of the University of Michigan. My terminology, I promise, is going to be absolutely terrible today. But
we're going to do the best we can.
We are. And that's why Dustin's here with us. We're really double dipping in a lot of it. So yesterday you were here for football. We had football yesterday. Fortunately, the Bulldogs lost by a score of 48-20 over Heidelberg, number 24 ranked in the country in Division III. But we had a very big crew. We had about 12 people here today. We are on a skeleton crew, if you even want to call it a skeleton crew. There are only 2 of us here. It is me and Destin. We are doing everything that you see on air today, and we're still happy to bring it to you. And we know it's going to be one of those days where we just have a lot of fun bringing you a new sport. 7 minutes up on the board. Half number 2 about to get underway. Only 2 halves played, 7 minutes each, a 14-minute game. Here will be the kick to start the second half. And we're off. University of Michigan has it. Already has a 5-point lead. Man, they have some grit on the outside. Again, I want to preface, we don't have rosters because of the way that rugby works. They can change positions, and positions are based off of their numbers. But I will tell you what, number 12 for the University of Michigan is looking great out there today.
Yeah, she's been tough to bring down. She got those last 2 scores. She's doing a great job for the Michigan Wolverines for sure.
Here's the throw in.
Adrian has possession now.
Yep. Lateral back. A little bit of some shimmy moves on. Going through with the spin move. Adrian with the momentum. Lateral back. Crossing over midfield and into the Michigan zone. Trying to get a try here. Chasing 1. Adrian still with it. Back. Tackle coming. Taken down to the turf. Ball is on the turf. Michigan looking for it, and we'll have a whistle. Clock continues to run. It is a running clock. And here comes a sub for Adrian. We'll have a scrum. They get lined up shoulder to shoulder, and then you are head to head with your opponent and trying to vie for possession. Ball gets knocked in. Michigan is able to send it back and pick it back up. 7-on-7 matchup here. 10-5 is our score in favor of the University of Michigan over the Adrian College Bulldogs. This is the first ever rugby matchup at Docking Family Stadium and the first ever women's rugby matchup in school history. 10-5 is our score. 5 minutes left to go in half number 2. Whistle and possession will be given to the University of Michigan. Adrian will form what to me is what I will call the Red Rover line. If you played football, you remember the game Red Rover, Red Rover. Ball is kicked up and
looks like it's going to be out of bounds.
Goes out of bounds, so we'll see where the call comes in. Now my question would be is do they have to throw it in or do they take it looks like they take straight possession, so there must have been with the kick. So Adrian's going to be knocking on the door here. They'll be at
almost the 5-yard line.
Yeah, about at the out 5. 5 yards away from the try zone. And there will be a scrum. They'll have to reset. 3:40 and counting left to go here in half number 2 of game number 1. First of 3 here on ACTV. Game number 2 will be a battle between Wolverines. 10-5 our score. Adrian knocking at the door. Scrum down. Picked up. Heading in. And it is a try for the Adrian College Bulldogs. It is tied up at 10.
Great way to tie it up. Okay. All right, it looks like Adrian's going to go for the extra point here. And possession is going to go back to the Wolverines. Michigan with possession here. Nice hit by. Looks like Adrian tried to get possession. Oh.
All right, Destin. I got us some help.
Awesome.
Robert Precious has joined us in the booth. Men's soccer, now rugby analyst. Robert, how you doing? Hold on. I had the wrong mic turned on. Now we should have you.
How are you?
I'm doing good. You can hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're good to go then. Robert, explain to us what is happening right now.
So right now we got a scrum. Usually in the bigger games you get, I think it's up to 7 or 8 people in a scrum, but here because it's 7s you only have 3, otherwise you're stuck with nobody on defense. But it's usually for some sort of penalty. I got to be honest, there's a whole bunch of them, so I can't keep track of all of them. But generally speaking, if you have the put in at the scrum, you better be getting it out the other side because you know where it's going.
Okay.
That put in is the one that's tapping on top of the scrum to let them know that it's coming in.
On the Adrian side, I think it was 9 that just did it. I assume it's a similar number on the other side as well. But as you say, with 7s, the numbers are a little off because positions are off. So.
Numbers base your position. That's what we learned when I went and talked to Athletic Director Mike Duffy as well as our SIDs, Sports Information Department. So we have another scrum coming here.
And this one's being put in by Michigan. I assume there was some sort of knock-on, which is when you pass the ball forward. Doesn't have to be a pass. Even if you try to get a hand on it and your hand knocks it forward, that still counts as a knock-on.
So Michigan has it. This game is tied up. We're under a minute to go. But that doesn't mean we have a minute left, as we learned previously in half number 1. Battle along the out-of-bounds line. The lines that Robert is used to. The soccer lines being used today.
Rugby fields, it's a little different here because usually the, I guess the field goal posts, although they don't really call them that in rugby, the conversion posts, they're usually actually at the spot where the beginning of the end zone is. So it's actually 10 yards in. You actually run behind the try or the conversion post, and you can put the try down behind it.
And those posts are also a little bit skinnier than the traditional football post.
And they have 2 pillars that go from the bottom. So instead of the one at the back that lifts up and it extends into 2, you have 2 on the floor that go all the way.
Okay.
So the half has run out here, but like we learned, and once the play is dead, that's when we will see the end of this game.
Called a penalty for something. I'm not quite sure what. But in rugby, there's advantage, and the advantage lasts for a very long time. So they have phases of play here instead of like downs. And so a phase is basically if somebody gets tackled, that's a phase of play. So once they go to the ground, then you get to the second phase of play when they move it on. So you can go, say, 4, 5, 6 phases down the line, and the referee can still hold advantage and bring it back later if he sees something, if you go to give the ball away. So it's really long-winded if, like, you're, say, 35, 40 seconds along the line, and then you can come back for something.
Okay.
So we did have a whistle.
I believe this one's end of half, or end of game.
End of game. So in the first ever program game for the Adrian College Bulldogs, they tie the University of Michigan by a final score of 10-10 here on ACTV. Matt Kibbe, Destin Foy, now Robert Precious with us today in what is a really kind of important day on the campus of Adrian College, right? New program coming off of last night where we saw the Adrian College football team unfortunately drop the game to Heidelberg. And now we come into today and we say, hello, welcome to rugby. Waiting to see. I'm going to determine what we do next here based on how much time is put on the clock between these games. There was talk that it would be about a 20-minute intermission. If that is the case, we're going to take a break here on ACTV. We'll come back, give you a little bit of analysis, and then we'll take another break, and then we'll get ready for game number 2. Game number 2 is going to be a battle between, it's going to be the University of Michigan battle. They're going to have a 7-on-7 game. So we are taking about a 10-minute break. So game number 2, from my knowledge and what was possessed to me, it's going to be the University of Michigan taking on the University of Michigan in a 7s game. And then game number 3, the last game of the day, will be another Adrian College versus the University of Michigan game. Hopefully we have everything figured out. We're going to take a quick break here on ACTV. When we come back, University of Michigan takes on the University of Michigan in a 7s game. We'll be right back. Crosses over, back onto the far side. Rips a shot, she scores! and be like, welcome back. We're going to take another quick break. Didn't mean to come back directly. Enjoy this campus tour of Adrian College here on ACTV. Game number 2 coming up in about 5 minutes. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Adrian, Michigan. We're located in a proud college town. Adrian College is situated just 45 minutes from Ann Arbor, Detroit, and Toledo. We're very excited to show you just a little bit of what AC has to offer. This is the gateway to our campus. Welcome to the place that we believe will change the rest of your life. AC features one of the most well-rounded educational experiences in the country. We offer over 60 different academic majors and 10 academic institutes, as well as dozens of student organizations. Year after year, we've been ranked as one of the nation's best colleges, including being one of the most innovative institutions in the U.S. for our medical programs. Our campus is simply beautiful. Our student-to-faculty ratio is an incredible 13-to-1. That means more attention for you and a much better overall learning environment. We know how to put together an education that is life-changing, and these are just some of the highlights. From our communication arts program, to our many performing arts, to the home of business on campus, to our sciences and medical studies, we have the spaces where you can grow into the professional that you want to become. Our first-year student experience is award-winning. You'll make lifelong friends here, meet mentors, and maybe even meet that special someone. The Kane Student Center is open 24 hours a day, and there's a lot going on here. The Bulldog Beanery has all of your hot drinks. Pause and Go is our on-campus convenience store. The bookstore is where you'll get all of your Bulldog gear, and you can just hang out and study in the skyboxes. Not far away is the Shipman Library. The Shipman has quiet, relaxing spaces for you to study in. You can check out books from thousands of libraries around the country, and the Shipman is open 24 hours as well for your convenience. There are hundreds of learning opportunities on campus. In addition to the arts and beautiful facilities, Adrian College is known for its athletic programs. There is nothing like a Saturday game day here in Adrian. The Bulldog football team are 11-time MIAA champions. At Docking Stadium, fans watch soccer, lacrosse, football, and more. Just a few hundred yards away, Adrian College's basketball teams compete. In addition to basketball, fans can enjoy wrestling, acro and tumbling, and volleyball here. We also have a state-of-the-art weight room available to all of our students. When things heat up too much on campus, you can cool off with our ice sports. Our NCAA ice hockey teams are constantly battling in the national playoffs. Just a quick walk down the service drive, we feature one of the best baseball and softball programs in the nation at our level. Soon you'll be able to cross the street and watch men's and women's rugby take to the pitch as well. Our rowing, crew, and top-ranked bass fishing programs compete out of the Adrian College Boathouse, a gorgeous facility just a 15-minute drive north on Devil's Lake. Our students know how to relax in their downtime. When they're not out and about, we have dozens of housing options on campus. With apartments right in the mix of things, you can pick what works.
Welcome back here on the campus of Adrian College. It's game number 2 of this, what we'll call a triple header, a rugby triple header. University of Michigan takes on the University of Michigan. Our scoreboard will not change. University of Michigan blue will be Michigan on the scoreboard. Adrian will represent the University of Michigan white. Matt Kibbe, Destin Foy, Robert Precious up here in the booth with you. 6:40 already left to go in half number 1. Michigan blue has possession of it, trying to get the first try.
Yeah, so that one will be he's pulling this one back for an advantage from about 2-3 passes ago. So that's why in rugby, you usually point the way of the team that gets the call. So it's the opposite of soccer, where they usually point forward. So if you're going, say, to the left end zone, they'll point towards the left end zone. In this case, they always point towards the team that's getting the penalty for them.
So whoever is going to be the one, when you have the scrum, the team that's putting the ball into the scrum, the pointer, is going to be the way the referee points.
Yes. So he'll always point back towards the team that he's going to give the ball to effectively.
Try is looking for it. University of Michigan blue has it here. It's back onto the far side, and we were talking about this during the break. This one's a little outstretched, and it will go back into the possession of University of Michigan white. We were talking about this during the break, Robert. The speed of sevens, a little bit different compared to the traditional 15-on-15 matchup that you see in a full rugby matchup. Talk to us about that a little bit.
So in 15s, usually you'll see a lot more of the frontliners, sort of the people numbers 1 to about 8. They'll usually go into tackles a lot more, whereas in 7s, the main goal is to get it basically odd number rush and then go around the outside, because if you break one line in 7s, you're gone. So the point of the game is to get it as quickly through the lines as possible, whereas in the other style of rugby, sometimes you want to take time off the clock, so you're just going to go into tackles, get the ball on the ground, and then hopefully just sort of stall the clock type deal.
Now, you also have to deal with the fact that it's going to be a much faster game anyway, because 7s, 7-on-7, 7-minute halves, too. You don't have as much time as the traditional game of rugby.
Yeah, it's a little different, and especially if you can run up a score quite quickly in some cases, and then in other cases you won't get any scoring for a whole half or something if the game's sort of sitting in the balance. But usually I'd say games are somewhere in like you get about 30 to 35 points. That's the average I see at the professional level. Obviously, this is a little different with it being early doors, so could see either a little more or a little less depending on the level.
Interesting. This is all just very interesting to me.
Yeah, we're learning a lot here today, folks. Thanks for joining us here on ACTV. Matt Kibbe, Dustin Foy, Robert Precious with you in the booth. 4:10 left to go in half number 1 of what is now game number 2. And like you said, Robert,
that was
a
good
big tackle down in front of the defending zone.
So I think what happened here was the tackle was so good that the girl dropped it, and it was classified as a knock-on as well because she dropped the ball forward as opposed to backward, and so now blue gets the put in at the scrum.
3 players from each team line up on the scrum. They go shoulder to shoulder, head to head, locked up, trying to get possession of it, and University of Michigan blue has it. Trying to find an open gap. There's a seam up the middle, into the numbers and into the try zone, bringing it to the middle so that they can have a good attempt on the conversion, and it's knocked down. The first try of this game will be awarded to the University of Michigan blue.
That was a really good run there. Split through about two, three people, and once you split through one line in 7s, you're basically gone. So point of running to the middle, though, if you haven't seen rugby before, your conversion is taken from the spot where you put the ball down. So if you run closer to the middle, obviously you're closer to the goalpost, and that's all good news for you.
We also talked about this as well. Here's the try attempt, and it is good. So that will be 2 points. So now we get a traditional football score here. 7-0 is our score here in game number 2. Talking a little bit about the conversion, I believe we mentioned this during game number 1, but I know we talked about it during our little break. The difference in the field. Traditionally, the goalpost up at the front of the zone. This is where the odds that we're playing on a football field, a multi-purpose field, may affect the game a little bit, but still making it work, still doing the most.
I'm not too sure on the distances usually with conversions, but I believe they've actually brought them in like 10 yards every time, so they're taking it from the correct distance, even if the lines are a little bit off because the goalposts are further back.
Making the adjustments, and I feel like that's what happens a lot here in the States. Is not a lot of, can't imagine there's a lot of rugby fields just out there in the middle of nowhere, as there's another try attempt, and man, let me tell you, number 12 for the University of Michigan blue has been lights out for the Wolverines, and that's her 3rd try on the day and 2nd one in the game.
It's also good from their standpoint. They got 2 in quick succession. So this is the point about rugby 7s. If you score 1, usually you can get a 2nd quite quickly just because the game moves so fast. Also in rugby, it doesn't matter who scores the try. Anybody can take the conversion. So usually each team will have somebody that's appointed to taking their kicks.
Okay.
So in this case, 12 scored. I think it was 11 on the try. That one went a little far wide. Usually you have a tee box as well.
Yep.
You'll set it up on the tee to kick it. In this case, I'm not sure if we don't have one or if it's just they've decided to practice their drop kicks today. But drop kicking is a big aspect of rugby, so I guess the practice can't hurt either.
So it's now 12-0 in favor of the University of Michigan Blue. 1 minute left on the clock here in half number 1. University of Michigan White hasn't really been able to get anything going. They haven't even gotten across midfield.
So that'd be a penalty for White. I assume 7 is reaching over the top. There's, I'm not too sure on what the exact wording of the rule is, but there is, you can't go offside in this, so you can't be reaching too far over to grab the ball. If the person's put the ball behind them, you can't be grabbing it.
Okay. Now we don't see a scrum on this
she's
penalty.
Gone. She's
and
gone.
There's some room. Crossing over midfield. Nobody in front of her, but some folks coming from behind. The last attempt misses, and this is going to be a try for the University of Michigan White. We'll see it there, and we'll have the conversion coming.
There's Rugby Sevens in a nutshell for you. Break through one line, you make a 70-yard run, you get to score your first try.
Yeah, she was gone.
She got broken free at what is the 50-yard line of the football field and was gone after that. There was one attempt that University of Michigan Blue had and just couldn't grip up an ankle and try and trip her up. Here's the conversion. It's good. 12-7 is our score here between the University of Michigan Blue, who is Michigan on the scoreboard, and the University of Michigan White, which is Adrian on our scoreboard.
So even though the half times run out, I believe because the try was scored before the time ran out, they have to play this as if it was a live ball. In rugby, once it goes out of bounds, that's when the clock officially starts. So if a team wants to reset, you might see them pick it up and just punt it out of bounds. But in some cases, if they really feel like they got a good go of it, they might just run it.
So we'll see a whistle, and we are going to go into the half. So we go to halftime. The score 12-7 in favor of the University of Michigan Blue over the University of Michigan White. Still 7 minutes left to go. A 2-minute half. We're going to take a quick 60-second break. When we come back, we'll give you a little bit more analysis. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a soccer preview from our soccer analysis and rugby analysis now, Robert Precious. We'll be right back in 60 seconds here on ACTV. Okay, we're in break.
We don't have to do a soccer analysis if you don't want to. I don't mind.
Oh, we're doing a soccer analysis, my guy.
We don't have to.
We're doing it. At least, okay, they condensed down like how much time they told me it was going to be in games. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, they said like
Why?
a 20
What'd they tell
minute
you?
break.
They said they were going to do a 5-minute half, and then they were going to do
I
a.
think in sevens it's usually 2 minutes. I
Really?
think, like officially.
Well,
I
they
think
were
it's 2.
saying they were like we're going to do there's going to be 5 minutes in between,
Yeah.
and then they were like we're going to do 20 minutes in between each game, and then they did 10 minutes. I'm like,
Great news.
good
Great
things.
news.
That's what I like to hear.
Do your thing.
I feel bad for the linesmen. They got almost as much running as all.
Adrian College has once again been recognized for its commitment to engaged, experiential education by colleges of distinction, a one-of-a-kind guide for college-bound students. While higher education has changed over the past 20 years, Colleges of Distinction's selection process has stayed consistent in accepting only those that adhere to the 4 distinctions: engaged students, great teaching, vibrant community, and successful outcomes. Overlaid in the last few years have been a look into high-impact practices. They believe most critical to the student experience were the kinds of engaging experience that are found at Adrian College. To learn more, please visit adrian.edu.
All right, welcome back. After we officially took our 60-second break, apologize if you heard what we were talking about. We're talking about the format. They've been changing it a little bit on us. We came into this game thinking it was going to be 15 on 15. Then later we found out, Adrian, we don't have enough girls first year, trying to get the recruits in. Don't have enough for 15 on 15. So the format changed to sevens, which is 7 on 7, 2 7-minute halves. The time for halftime changed as well. I was told 5 minutes. I've seen 2 minutes up on the board, and then the time between games also changed. I was told 20 minutes for that, and here we are. We have 10 minutes. That could change here in this game because the University of Michigan has played 2 games now. Adrian taking a break between this game. 7 minutes up on the board. And half number 2 will get underway. The score right now is 12-7 in favor of the University of Michigan blue over the University of Michigan white. On your scoreboard, if you're watching at home, University of Michigan blue is Michigan on the scoreboard. The team representing Adrian is the University of Michigan white. University of Michigan white will kick off. I don't know if that's what it is, but I feel like that's like the most. I feel like that's the most easiest way to describe it in a American way.
I'm trying to think. If I come up with a term, I'll let you know. But kickoff definitely works.
Kickoff works for us. We're underway here in half number 2. 12-7 is our score. Matt Kibbe, Destin Ford, Robert Precious with you in the booth today. 7-on-7 matchup.
So if they can come wide here, they've got 2v1 on the outside. That's good for them.
There you see it, trying to get on the outside.
Good tackle on the outside.
Taken down, and this is where you see, once you hit the turf in rugby, you have to give up possession of it. You cannot hang on to it. You must have somebody there to grab it, and they can send it back. You see it here now. Usually you often have somebody who will come in and stand over top of the one who was tackled and on the turf as a sense of a protector, because I believe once they go on the ground, it's fair game. Anybody can grab it.
If you can dive over and grab it, you can. Typically, the person on top helps hold like the offside line, because you can't actually go ahead of the ball if the ball's on the floor if you're on the defending team. So if they have a person over top, the other team can't come over and basically take the ball from them. Got a penalty of some sort. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure what this one for. Might have been an offside if they were on top of the girl who was lying on the floor.
Okay.
But as his hand's pointed out to the right, that means it'll be white ball.
Another whistle. It might have gotten going before the referee wanted them.
I think in this in rugby as well, you have to take it from the point where the foul or the penalty in this case was committed. So because the lady tried to take it a little further ahead of where the ref wanted it, she had to come back.
That's a little bit of a soccer element in the game. White knocking at the door here.
Somebody just got to dive on the floor, take it across the line if they can.
Michigan got it, and they clear it away. A nice attempt by University of Michigan blue to get it out from right in front of the try zone.
Ooh.
Michigan white with it.
So not as important in sevens, but in rugby, the person that always comes up and picks up the ball behind the person that's fallen over is known as the scrum half. That's their official position title. They usually wear the number, I want to say it's either 9 or 10. I think it's 10. But that's the scrum half. So they'll be the ones that are always coming up to sort of set up where the next attack's going to go once the tackle's made. In sevens, it's a little more flexible, obviously, as there's less people, and if the scrum half goes down, then you don't have anyone to pass to. So there'll usually be one and then a second sort of like secondary scrum half who isn't actually called the scrum half but plays that sort of role. But that's why we see people rotating through.
Saw that. Ball was on the turf or on the floor. Michigan blue came in and kind of stole it away, and now they're gone. Here's a big play. Hustle in, has to go 80 yards for the try. Nobody's behind her. This is her third try of the game, fourth one on the day, and the University of Michigan blue gets another try. 17-7. Actually, yeah, 17-7, pending the conversion.
Unstoppable today.
Yeah.
As soon as she gets a little bit of space, she's gone. In every game. You can tell she's a little bit winded, too.
I don't blame her. I would be, too, if I had to make an 80-yard sprint like that.
Try attempt for the conversion attempt, my apologies, is good. Score now 19-7 in favor of the University of Michigan blue.
Oh, and when you score, I don't know if we've mentioned this, but when you score, you have to give the ball back to the other team effectively. But usually you punt it deep into their end, and then you hope. Sometimes, depending on how deep it is, some teams will immediately kick it back to you because they don't want it that deep. or in some cases, you're already in a good position. You can go, especially in the professionals, they're really good at lofting their kicks like a punter would. So they'll loft it all the way up in the air, and they'll try to get a person over to catch it as the ball comes down. That's also another spot where you were talking about the getting lifted on the, they call them lineouts, not throw-ins in rugby. So on the lineouts, they'll pick people up. They'll also do that on punts and stuff as well because you need that ball.
That's the name of the game, possession. We've seen that come into play here today. It was a whistle, 2:32. I'm realizing now our clock isn't working. Let me fix that for you all at home.
I think we got a head injury of some sort.
That's the other thing I think is important to note. So the clock did stop. A little bit of concussion protocol come into play here. Not a whole lot of subs as well. Usually it's only for an injury and some very special circumstances where somebody will sub in. We did see it happen a couple times in game number 1. Have not seen subs until now in game number 2.
I did see them make one after the last try. I think I saw somebody come in. I think it was on Whiteside. So I think they've been doing it, but I think especially in sevens because it's so short. If you can't be running for 15 minutes in a game of sevens, then usually you don't have as many subs anyway. So it's more injury type circumstances where they'll swap.
So we will have a scrum here. Point in from White.
Oh, they also have a set of commands. I don't know if you can hear the referee on the camera or not, but they have a set of commands that they'll use. So usually it's like something along the lines of they'll stand 3 to a side in this case. They'll call crouch, which means they all have to get into ready position. I think I heard the referee say bind, which means they're allowed to grab onto the shirts of the people across. And then sometimes it'll either be like set or ready or engage, and then that means that the ball's coming into place. Then that's when they come towards one another.
That's why you see it take a little bit of an extra second to get going before the scrum and the point in is delivered.
So I don't know if we'll be able to hear it here. He's a little closer this time. We might be able to. Yep, so crouch. Bind, he's calling. And then he says set. And then that's when the number 4 here, who's putting in for the scrum for the white team, that's when she taps the girl that she's going to put the ball towards. And then that girl is responsible for hooking it with her foot behind her.
University of Michigan white almost broke free. A nice defensive play by blue, and it's on the floor.
So referee just called advantage. He kept his arm out to the right there. Blue tried to pick it up, but because she picked it up, fumbled it, and moved it forward, that technically counts as a knock-on, so that means it'll be white ball.
45 seconds and counting left to go here in game number 2. Dustin, are you enjoying rugby?
Yeah, I'm learning the game as it's going. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Mentioned that at the beginning. First time ACTV has ever done a rugby game.
Did you guys not travel to the Michigan game, or was that just you?
We did not get to travel. We did not go on the road for that, but we will be here next week on Friday when the men's team takes on Michigan State University.
I assume that'll be 15s?
That will be 15s.
Nice.
University of Michigan Blue has open space, and here is the try. Just has to get it on the turf. And there it is. Another try for University of Michigan Blue. A big lead for University of Michigan Blue, 24-7, pending the conversion. Drop kick in, and it is good.
I think he just singled the end of the game there as well. I think the try was after the clock went over, so it means end of the game.
Final score, 26-7 for the University of Michigan Blue. We're going to take, last time it was a 10-minute break.
Put 10 on the board again for you.
Okay, there we go. So we do have a little bit of a break. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, then we're going to come back. We're doing a soccer preview with our guy Robert Precious here today. We'll be right back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to make sure the whole entire campus tour video plays, so take a look at what we have to offer here at Adrian College.
Welcome to Adrian, Michigan. We're located in a proud college town. Adrian College is situated just 45 minutes from Ann Arbor, Detroit, and Toledo. We're very excited to show you just a little bit of what AC has to offer. This is the gateway to our campus. welcome to the place that we believe will change the rest of your life. AC features one of the most well-rounded educational experiences in the country. We offer over 60 different academic majors and 10 academic institutes, as well as dozens of student organizations. Year after year, we've been ranked as one of the nation's best colleges, including being one of the most innovative institutions in the U.S. for our medical programs. Our campus is simply beautiful. Our student-to-faculty ratio is an incredible 13-to-1. That means more attention for you and a much better overall learning environment. We know how to put together an education that is life-changing, and these are just some of the highlights. From our communication arts program, to our many performing arts, to the home of business on campus, to our sciences and medical studies, we have the spaces where you can grow into the professional that you want to become. Our first-year student experience is award-winning. You'll make lifelong friends here, meet mentors, and maybe even meet that special someone. The Kane Student Center is open 24 hours a day, and there's a lot going on here. The Bulldog Beanery has all of your hot drinks. Pause and Go is our on-campus convenience store. The bookstore is where you'll get all of your Bulldog gear, and you can just hang out and study in the skyboxes. Not far away is the Shipman Library. The Shipman has quiet, relaxing spaces for you to study in. You can check out books from thousands of libraries around the country, and the Shipman is open 24 hours as well for your convenience. There are hundreds of learning opportunities on campus. In addition to the arts and beautiful facilities, Adrian College is known for its athletic programs. There is nothing like a Saturday game day here in Adrian. The Bulldog football team are 11-time MIAA champions. At Docking Stadium, fans watch soccer, lacrosse, football, and more. Just a few hundred yards away, Adrian College's basketball teams compete. In addition to basketball, fans can enjoy wrestling, acro and tumbling, and volleyball here. We also have a state-of-the-art weight room available to all of our students. When things heat up too much on campus, you can cool off with our ice sports. Our NCAA ice hockey teams are constantly battling in the national playoffs. Just a quick walk down the service drive, we feature one of the best baseball and softball programs in the nation at our level. Soon you'll be able to cross the street and watch men's and women's rugby take to the pitch as well. Our rowing, crew, and top-ranked bass fishing programs compete out of the Adrian College Boathouse, a gorgeous facility just a 15-minute drive north on Devil's Lake. Our students know how to relax in their downtime. When they're not out and about, we have dozens of housing options on campus. With apartments right in the mix of things, you can pick what works best for you. We've also recently renovated a few of our housing options. Adrian College is a Methodist-affiliated institution that has been changing lives since 1859. The modern liberal arts education offered by our faculty is unrivaled. We can't wait to have you on campus and show you around. Visit adrian.edu to schedule a full campus visit today. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back here on the campus of Adrian College. Docking Family Stadium is the site. Adrian, Michigan is the town, and women's rugby is the matchup. Adrian College taking on the University of Michigan. Their first ever game in program history was game number 1. They tied the University of Michigan in sevens. The final score was 10-10. Game number 2 was to the advantage of the University of Michigan Blue. It was a University of Michigan versus the University of Michigan matchup, and we saw that game really kind of explode into the high-scoring affair that you can see out of sevens. Matt Kibbe, Destin Foy, Robert Precious with us. We're going to get away from the game of rugby really quick. We're going to talk to Robert about the season that has already started and the upcoming conference slate for the men's soccer team. I don't know if anybody has caught this, but, you know, he sounds like a true rugby player to us up here, telling us how this game works, letting us know what's going on. But he actually is a member of the Adrian College men's soccer program. Robert, I mean, tell us how it's going so far. How's the season looking? You guys excited, getting ready for conference play?
It's been good so far. It's been a bit of a mixed bag, I won't lie, but that's mainly just because we have 16 freshmen this year. And
Wow.
If you bring on a squad of 30, if over half of them are freshmen, there's just a lot of stuff that they got to learn. So we had a game yesterday. We went to Kentucky for the weekend. The first game we played the number 4 team in the country, and that didn't go as well. But yesterday we played a team, came out 5-1 winners. We scored 4 goals in the first 10 minutes of the second half, so It was all really good energy. It was sort of people started to settle down, which was good to see. So I think moving forward, that's good stuff to build off of.
You got a question? I was going to let you go for a question, let you get some. You want to?
I don't
got
really,
a question for him? I mean, I got more.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, I got more.
Go ahead, man.
Okay,
I don't know much.
Robert, I'm a big Coach Hatfield guy. I love what he's brought to the program. I think he's got it heading in the right direction. Personal opinion. Wanted to hear kind of your opinion on your coaching staff, and you guys got a new assistant coach, I believe.
Yes.
As well. So how's that transitioning? You've been here through 2 regimens now. What's kind of the difference? What are you liking out of the new coaching staff?
Mike's very good with his communication, really likes talking to people one-on-one, which is something that especially when you get to college age, people really respect because, hey, we're all college kids. We all have opinions on stuff. We all want our say, so that's good. Matt, as you're talking about, he's new. He's specialist area, I believe, is goalkeeping, which was specifically something that Mike was looking for over the summer, so he's filled a good hole for Mike, I think. I haven't got to talk to him as much yet, but I think just being new on the job, getting to meet 30 new guys can be a little intimidating for anyone. So I think long-term, Mike's really good at scouting. He's brought in some really good people this year. Freshman class, all a really nice bunch of guys. So moving in the right direction, I think.
I think that's the biggest thing to know is the men's soccer program has been on the come-up for the past couple of years, progressively getting better and better. Compare that to there is a family-like atmosphere. The women's team has been continuously a powerhouse in the MIAA. Last year falling a little short getting into the tournament time, but that family-like atmosphere really for the program is something to be proud of. Both coaches on the men's and women's side are proud of that. You know, we'll come to a soccer game, could be men's or women's, no matter what. The other team is traditionally always in the stands and always loud. What's that family atmosphere like for the soccer programs?
I think it's really good just because I think everybody gets along on both sides. Like the men's team gets on well with the men's team, and then the men's team also gets on well with the women's team and vice versa. So I think it makes really good atmosphere. Plus, it's always good when you have other sports teams that come to support you, and you have to pay that back as well. And I think, especially for us, it's good to see a team do well, and it's much easier to do better if there are other people that come and watch you as well.
Yeah, that men's soccer team, watch out for them. I think you got a sneaky chance to surprise some people.
Us this year,
That's
so.
right. What was the preseason rank? Was it 5?
7.
We
were 7.
7.
But I'll be honest. I think there was a lot of recency bias in that poll that they did because Calvin has been a perennial top team in our conference. They're always nationally ranked. This year they're number 3 in the country, and they still the Hope won the conference last year, and so everybody's saying Hope's winning this year. Hope's a good team, but I still probably think that Calvin's got him historically, so I think there's a lot of recency bias in the poll, I won't lie.
Now, don't be fooled. Adrian College men's soccer is projected to finish 7th. I thought it was 5th, but I do think I've said this for a lot of teams. I think the MIAA rankings, like you said, a little recent bias, but I think a lot of these teams have a chance to kind of sneak up out of nowhere and surprise some folks in the MIAA. I think men's soccer is a prime example of that. I would expect a top finish for men's soccer getting into the thick of things, just especially if the freshmen start meshing in together and getting going, right?
Yep, here's hoping. And the good thing with the freshmen as well is because they've got so much to learn, they got plenty of time till conference play. We can help them get there, so that's what matters.
Well, we're about to get ready to go here for the final match of today. 7s on the board, 7 minutes in the first half ready. Game number 3, back to the traditional Adrian College versus the University of Michigan. Again, Matt Kibbe, Destin Foy, Robert Precious with us in the booth. Game number 3, already had 2 games here today. First game between these two teams was a tie at 10. And now here in game number 3, we'll see if Adrian can get the first ever win in program history. University of Michigan Blue, well, now just University of Michigan, will kick off. The drop kick initiated, goes to the sideline, picked up, trying to find space, and taken down quickly are the Bulldogs. It's on the floor, trying to find possession of it. Almost like a miniature scrum happening over on that far side. There's that physicality coming right into it. Adrian trying to form a line. Michigan not letting them break through, trying to regress. Taking it back, it's on the floor, picked up by the Bulldogs. Onto the outside, trying to find that open lane. A lot of physicality here to start off game number 3. University of Michigan not satisfied with that tie from game number 1.
I love that they just let him play. And she's out of there.
There they go. Adrian Bulldogs will get the first try in game number 3, and they take a 5-0 lead over the University of Michigan.
Really good run between the lines there. Really good run.
She was gone.
You could see that developing. Adrian was looking for that open field and finally found it. Here's the conversion attempt. Kick up and good. 7-0 lead for the Adrian College Bulldogs over the University of Michigan.
And you will see this as well. We're seeing people run on and off the field. In rugby, when there's sort of a stoppage in place, a conversion attempt is taking place, people will run on with water. That's pretty normal. Don't worry, they're not adding on extra players in between sessions. It's just what they do here.
Especially
now,
after.
As a former football player, I would have loved people to run out of the water.
Here's the kick to start off the Michigan possession. First time they've touched it here in this contest, game number 3.
That's a good tackle.
Really good
big
tackle.
hit.
Getting stuck in early, like to see that. Oh, I think there's a penalty for something, though. Ref's got his arm outstretched. So, as a reminder, he could call it back when he sees fit. Good tackle there, so he doesn't see any advantage. He's going to call it back for the penalty earlier. In rugby, you can actually do a quick restart, which I think is what we're going to see here. You can kick it up to yourself effectively, so you sort of just tap it off your foot, and then you can get going again.
But you have to kick it to start possession, correct?
You can't just start running. You have to tap it. So sometimes if they're standing right by the referee and they see that the defense is sleeping, they'll tap it to themselves and just take off.
Big tackle once again here. Michigan trying to get through the line. It's on the turf, back with it, and there is a call. Another quick reset here for the University of Michigan. Kicked up. Picked up there, and the University of Michigan driving in. The Wolverines trying to tie this game back up. It will take a try and a conversion.
One big area, just because I'm thinking about it now, because we've seen a few penalties in a row. Oh, actually, we got a card here. This would be new. Okay, so we got a yellow card. I'm going to assume it's for a high tackle because I can't hear the referee. This actually is a good point because this was exactly what I was about to talk about. So in rugby, we'll talk about the yellow card first. It's effectively a sin bin. So Adrian will have to play with 6 players. In 15s, it's usually 10 minutes. I think in 7s, it might be 5 just because otherwise you're gone for basically the whole game. But if Michigan scores a try here, she will be allowed to re-enter. But going back to the high tackle, in rugby, this is a big area of focus. If you have any tackles up around the head or neck area, these are punishable by different types of cards. They're yellow and red. Red card's obviously ejection from the game, no coming back on. Yellow's just a sin bin.
So here's the thing that I learned when we had a meeting. Play does not stop because of an injury. The trainer is forced to come out while play is continuing, and the game will not stop.
It'll only stop if they think there's something that they have to stop it for. If somebody's holding, like, say, a broken finger, they won't actually stop for that. They'll just run straight by him, and the trainer has to deal with them. So
now we will see this stoppage with 3:10 up on the board for an extended injury. But we saw what was happening here. Caleb is the athletic trainer for women's rugby. He had to run out. He saw the injury. He stays along the line. You've seen him walking back and forth. And if there is a play going on, he has to run out while it's happening. Hell, if they need tape, he's going to tape them up on the field. You're going to get treatment while you're on there. You got to be quick if you're those trainers. But if there's an extended injury like we just saw here, that's where we see the stoppage, and we'll make sure everybody's safe, and then we will continue. But stoppages, not big in the sport of rugby.
No, it's pretty much just tries in this sport. Penalties, even penalties, you get going pretty quickly. If you get a try, that's usually your only like long-term stoppage of play.
This is one of the few times the clock will stop. This is where that physicality comes into the game. No padding. Absolutely no padding.
This turf is pretty punishing as well.
Yeah,
like, from sliding a few times on it, I've come out with turf burns and stuff, so I can't imagine rugby's got to be too fun to be falling on all game.
Getting tackled hard as well. Clock will start now. Michigan still, they have an advantage right now as well. It is 7-on-6. If they score, Adrian will get back to even. Pressure coming. Adrian trying to defend their zone and get the first win in program history. Another big
I don't know
tackle.
who 10 is on Adrian, but she has been tackler of the game by far. I think I've seen her smoke about 3 different people in the last 3 minutes.
Tackler of the game. That's going to be something.
That's not an official term, by the way.
We got to sell that ad. Who's the tackler of the game?
That's not an official thing. Ooh.
Michigan trying to drive in, breaking free. Adrian hanging on for dear life, and they do take her down. But Michigan still has an opportunity, trying to get numbers, going in, heading in, right on, and that is a try for the University of Michigan. They will have to take the conversion kick from an untraditional spot. As we mentioned, Robert Precious, you want to go over that one more time for us?
So wherever you tap the ball down on the line in the try line, you have to take from that spot. So the further wide you come, the further wide you also have to take the kick. So I'll be honest, I'm not sure why 12's going inside at the moment. She needs to come back out. But that's why you'll see them get to the try line, and if they can, they'll try and make an effort to run to the middle because then they have to take the kick from an easier point. So out here, a little far wide. This has got to be one of the more difficult kicks that she's going to have to take in a while.
And she's got to do it drop kick style. No good.
Yeah, you can see what a difference not having the tee box here is, though, at the moment, because when you drop a rugby ball, sometimes you have no idea where it's going. Yeah. So if you leave it too long after the bounce, that thing's flying somewhere, and you've got no hope of saving it, unfortunately.
So the score 7-5. The conversion that Adrian was able to make is the difference.
And 14's now back on the field after a yellow card. So
that is
because
right.
They got the try, they're now back at full strength.
So it is 7-on-7 once again. Dustin, I'm going to ask you again. How are we feeling?
I just hope Adrian can come out with a win. I'm glad they got that conversion because you see on the other end here, they got it in a bad angle, and maybe we can pull forward.
Under a minute to go here in half number 1 of game number 3.
Yep, go on. Yep, come on. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
There's some
Bring
room.
It around the corner. Bring it around the corner.
There is an edge
Bring it
play.
around the corner.
There it is. Cut back.
I think it might have been a forward pass, though.
Yeah, forward pass.
Yeah, he's calling it for the forward pass, unfortunately.
So
it was there. They had 2v3 on the outside. It was there. Unfortunately, didn't come off.
So University of Michigan will take back over. It will be a scrum. Right at midfield.
So something I haven't seen in the States yet, but I know it catches on big in the UK. People end up getting cauliflower ears from getting grabbed during scrums and stuff. So you see people with their ears absolutely deformed. So they actually have rugby caps that they'll wear. They're just leather, sort of like hats.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that.
Adrian is going to win the scrum. Michigan couldn't get it. Breaking free. Going in.
She's gone.
Flying by. Losing speed. Michigan coming up behind and tackled at the 2-yard line right in front of the try line. Adrian trying to double up their lead. Michigan able to find it back, and Adrian falls back on top of it.
10. I don't know who 10 is on Michigan, but she deserves an extra drink or something after the game.
Time has expired in half number 1, but play will continue.
No, penalty, he's calling it.
So
Not sure what the penalty was for because they were in a good position, but it must have gone to Michigan, I assume. Otherwise, I would hope that they would have continued the play there.
Wow. Michigan on their heels, able to hold Adrian out of the try zone. And a really, really exciting first half of play. The score, 7-5 in favor of Adrian College over the University of Michigan. We're going to take a quick 60-second break. We'll be back for the rest of this contest and the end of the game shortly. Welcome back here on Adrian College TV. We're in the half. The score 7-5 in favor of Adrian College, who is looking for their first win in program history. Stay tuned after this game. I'm going to try and get Coach Grundon to come up here and do a little bit of an interview with us about this contest, but you're going to have to let me send us to break first so I can run down there and see if he can come on up. Matt Kibbe, Dustin Foy, Robert Precious with us in the booth. This contest, this game, we're learning a lot, but how exciting it is. Rugby on the campus of Adrian College.
I'm just glad to be able to witness the first women's rugby game and hopefully the first women's win for this team as well.
This team is undefeated as of right now. They tied in game number 1. 10-10 was the final score in that one. But now looking for the first win in program history.
I assume that Adrian has to kick off this half because Michigan did the first.
That is what it is looking like.
Michigan have a different setup. Adrian was doing four high and then 3 underneath, whereas Michigan seems to be setting up as if it's going to go in a certain direction here. They want to set some sort of play up, it seems.
So half number 2 now officially underway. The University of Michigan has possession of it here. First few minutes of the half will be crucial here for both teams. It's only a 2-point game.
Good tackle.
On the floor, Michigan has it. Sends it back, trying to find that seam. We're playing sevens here today, folks. 7-on-7. Adrian took possession, but there was a penalty.
So my guess is here, based off the hand signals and such. I think she was offside because they had a person on top and then she came around the side to grab it. Okay. I don't think she's allowed to do that. There's a certain ruling. I'll have to ask my family on more of that. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know there is an offside line that you're not supposed to go across.
Michigan with it crossing over midfield. Back with it, trying to find a seam. Breaking through. Good nice tackle by the Bulldogs.
Bit of confusion in the Michigan ranks there. Didn't have anything set up. Didn't know where to go.
Back behind, still hanging on to it. Michigan trying to break through. 5:40 left to go here in half number 2.
Great defense by the Adrian Bulldogs right now.
Certainly not leaving anything out. Going into every tackle full-heartedly here today. I got to be honest, I'm not sure what that penalty was for. I cannot tell from here. I'm sorry.
Now, is there a time limit to the possessions, or can?
Nope, go as long as you need to. So if you hold it for 7 minutes, you hold it for 7 minutes. There's no sort of shot clock or anything like that.
So realistically, if Adrian got possession of it again, they could run out the clock and win this game.
So like I was talking about earlier with the 15s, where you'll see teams just sort of like run into each other, then get it on the ground. That's just something they'll do just to waste some time. You'll see teams hold on for it for a good 10, 15 minutes at a time if they feel it's necessary. Ooh, that was almost a high tackle. I think he's holding the advantage for it. Oh.
Jeez.
Got a try for Michigan. Came around the outside. Seemed like Adrian was waiting for the referee's whistle, and it didn't come, so they got caught a little by surprise, but got to stay switched on, unfortunately.
So University of Michigan will take the lead. Conversion pending. As of right now, it's 10-7.
I think you should. This one's going to be difficult, that's for sure. I think this is actually a similar position to where she took her last one.
I agree with you. She's what is on the 5-yard line, but way near the sideline, so the angle here will be difficult. Drop kick on kick is.
Wasn't a bad attempt.
Wow, that was close. That was close.
I think they need to get the tee box out here for next game. I think that'd help everyone out big time. Unless they haven't practiced, in which case maybe it wouldn't.
that would be the big thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Adrian will now get possession of it, now trailing here. The score 10-7. Now, these conversions are going to be huge because if Adrian scores, they take the lead right back. It will not tie this game up. They will have the lead.
You can also score from a drop kick in open play. So if they felt like they were close enough and time was winding down, they didn't trust themselves to get a try for any reason, they can go for a drop kick instead.
Okay.
That's a 3-point advantage.
Yes. So sort of like a field goal, I guess, but through open play. So I think what happened here was whoever went to receive the kick fumbled it forwards. They're counting that as a knock-on, so I think it's going to be Michigan put in a scrum.
That's what it's looking like here. Scrum getting ready. We'll hear the cadence. Crouch. What was it? Bind?
I think he's saying bind today. I always heard touch, I'll be honest, but bind's different.
And we'll reset. Official was not happy with the bind. There's the crouch. There's the bind. And the point in. Falling. Michigan does take advantage of the scrum. It's tossed way behind. It's on the floor. Trying to find it is Adrian. And picked up there by the Bulldogs.
Well done.
They are condensed in. Trying to find room. It's down. Passed outside. Trying to get around the corner. It's on the floor once again. Michigan has it. Trying to break through. This is back and forth. A lot of changes of possession here in game number 3, the final game of today's contest. Michigan trying to play spoiler to the first games in program history for the Adrian College Bulldogs. You can hear the fans yelling to everybody, spread out, try and take advantage of the width of the field. 90 seconds left to go here in this contest. Michigan has a 3-point lead.
Good tackle.
On the floor, Adrian trying to find it. Michigan still has it, trying to take it away in the floor. With it, Adrian has it now, waiting for the official. It's on the turf, picked up by the Bulldogs. Coming down to crunch time. Lateral to the side. Adrian just trying to get it on the outside. With it, Michigan takes it down. 1 minute left to go here in the contest. A 10-7 game. Michigan has it. Adrian just trying to get the offense going.
She's gone.
There it is. The gap. Finding it, crossing over midfield. Going in for the try to take the lead over the University of Michigan. The fans are electric, and the try is good. Adrian takes the lead.
I don't know who picked up that ball in midfield. Somebody managed to grab a change possession, got the handoff. Fantastic job from them. Whoever they are, they get my applause. That was really well done.
12-10 is our score. What a try. You could see it developing. The tackles were on top of it, and the Bulldogs find it on the floor, pick it up, and she's gone with speed. Put on the afterburners.
And this will be a little nitpicky, but I'm sure after the game, the coach is going to say to her, hey, you should have ran inside and infield. Because technically, Michigan could still come back. But
the conversion kick is whiffed.
We did have a little doubleheader. We worked 2 games back-to-back. I would say that is the best highlight I've seen from the Adrian Bulldogs this weekend. For sure.
That's the highlight. That's the highlight.
Of the weekend,
that's gonna get. I gotta tweet that out.
That's gonna be ACTV play of the week.
It might need to be.
I think it should be.
I wouldn't contest that.
All right, update, folks.
Ooh.
We're playing one more game.
Oh, that sounds great. More rugby sounds like fun.
We're playing one more game. It will be University of Michigan versus Adrian. Nothing other changes, but we are going to play one more after this.
So if you're Adrian here, you're kicking it to the sideline as the coach is gesticulating, because if it comes out of play, the game is over.
There it goes,
so they want
falling out,
there
and it's out of bounds. Adrian College gets their first win in program history, a final score of 12-10 over the University of Michigan Wolverines.
What a great play at the end of the game to steal the win over the Michigan Wolverines.
Hey,
you can tell everybody's excited.
There aren't many better ways of winning your first game than scoring in the last 15 seconds of a game.
Here's something to note. Both teams, the men's and women's rugby team, first victory both came against the University of Michigan. Wow. What a game.
That's going on the AC trivia in like 5 years' time.
Who was the first victory? That's going to be like the Affleck trivia question. Who was the first victory for the the Adrian College men's and women's rugby programs? Remember this, folks, in 5 years. University of Michigan. It happened on a Sunday in September on the campus of Adrian College. What a game it was. Final score 12-10 in favor of the Adrian College Bulldogs. There is one more game that we'll be playing.
I don't think they told the crowd, though. The crowd's leaving.
Well, they should have just announced it. So there is about a 10-minute intermission, the traditional intermission, but we will be playing one more game of sevens, 2 7-minute halves. These are quick games like we've seen today. We've already gotten through 3 of them, and we've only been here for about an hour and a half. So one more game. We're going to take a quick break here on Adrian College TV, and when we come back, it's going to be time. Let's introduce you to the new head coach for the men's basketball team, Tim Kaiser. Take a look at this interview with the man, the myth, the legend, and the future of the Adrian College basketball program, Tim Kaiser.
Really excited to get going and to try and lead these guys and try and help them reach their full potential as basketball players, but more importantly as people, as student athletes, and as men when they get out of here. So very excited to get going.
Let's play Bulldog basketball!
The Adrian College men's basketball program has a new man in charge. Tim Kaiser was announced the new head coach by athletic director Mike Duffy last week, but has been leading the program for several weeks now. After being named acting coach late in the season, Kaiser won his first career game overseeing the team.
Anytime you can get any experience is really good. So next year, game 1, it won't be game 1 for me, it'll be game 7. And that's actually a big thing. And beyond the games, more so the practices. Right, being able to lead the practices, because if we want to be good on the court, that's the most important thing about what we're going to do.
He played at Waynesburg University in Pennsylvania, where he was able to play in basically every role, including coming off the bench and starting as the team captain. Since his playing days, he has served as a graduate assistant at Heidelberg University in Ohio and assistant coach at Muhlenberg College in Pennsylvania. That's before he arrived as a Bulldog last fall.
All of my experience is in Division III. That's all I know, and that's what I love. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to be involved in. And I think while, I'm young, I also think I'm confident.
Kaiser and his team have already began their work in recruiting and preparing for next season. He can't wait to take the court with his team in a few short months.
I think first and foremost is that we're a connected group at all times. I think that's so important, especially in Division III, especially in basketball. So number one, that we're really connected, that we love playing together. I think that is the most important thing, is that we really enjoy playing together and sharing in each other's success.
Reporting from the Marilot Sport and Fitness Center, I'm Matt Kibbe for Adrian College TV. That was the new head coach for the men's basketball program here on the campus of Adrian College. We're going to take another quick break. About 6 minutes left until game number 4 and game number 3 between the University of Michigan and the Adrian College Bulldogs. Take a look back at what we call Welcome Week here at Adrian College. It's the introduction week for the freshman class, a record-breaking class for the class of 2025. Take a look at how they spent their first week on campus.
You stand today, students, on the threshold of one of the most magical times in your life. A time of great significance, of growth, introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time that you will always look back on as very special years. Never experienced before you arrived today and never replicated after you leave.
Welcome back here on the campus of Adrian College. Matt Kibbe, Dustin Foy, Robert Precious with you in the booth. Take a look here. This was the first victory for the Adrian College women's rugby team. It came over the University of Michigan by a final score of 12-10 in what was game number 3 of the day, but game number 2 between the Wolverines and the Bulldogs. We have made an audible, if you will, and we are playing a 4th game here today, once again, between the University of Michigan and the Adrian College Bulldogs. About to get ready to go here. About 90 seconds left until the opening kick for this game number 4. University of Michigan comes into today. They played each other. They played themselves. That was a really good game, a high-scoring game. But the 2 other games have been fairly low-scoring, a lot of excitement, a lot of breakthroughs, and a lot of long runs in open field for each team.
I think it's been a good sort of like spectacle of what it is to be rugby sevens. Sometimes you get your short games where not much happens, it's pretty tight, then all of a sudden you get hit by one sort of long play that stretches the game out. In this case, I think we've seen a mix of both, where we also had a bigger scoring game when we had the 2 Michigan teams play. I think part of that reason probably had to do with the fact I'm sure the Michigan team's more comfortable with one another, with our rugby team being so new here at Adrian. But I think it's been a great spectacle for the sport for the first day. I mean, you can't ask for much more.
Yeah, when that first victory for Adrian, it was just a great experience to be here. It was a great run at the end, just an awesome highlight. And like I said, it has to be the Bulldog Play of the Week.
I think it's going to be.
Highlight I've seen.
We might be women's rugby might get Play of the Week, Team of the Week, and maybe even a Player of the Week. I don't know about that one though. Football had some highlight reel plays too, but we'll see.
From the other team.
There were only a couple home games on campus this week, so women's rugby's got a really good chance here. But I can tell you what, it's going to be a nice debate trying to figure out who those are in the ACTV meeting this week. Those are always a lot of fun.
Somebody might bring their case. They might go back-to-back here right now.
They could. Right now, the Adrian College Bulldogs, undefeated, have not lost a game since the program was created just a few years ago. First year competing. We've known about women's rugby coming to campus for about 2 years now. I believe the announcement came in 2019. Coaches were announced in 2020, and here in 2021, we see it. And now, folks, this is a cool moment for us in the booth. A part of history, ACTV, is being at the first women's rugby game, watching the first ever game end in a tie, and then being here for the first ever win in program history. And now the Bulldogs looking to make it 2 in a row.
I will say on your point, though, I think even though the program's only been around for a short time, I think they've done really well recruiting for both teams. Like, the head coaches were only hired about 8 months ago. Yeah. So, to have 12 people on a team and have 18 on the other, I think they've done a stellar job.
I would agree with you there. It's been something. It has been fun to watch. Getting ready to go here. First half, 7 minutes up on the board. We're playing sevens here today, folks. Opening kick. Game number 4 is off. So I think that this is something that I've noticed as well. I think we have the same rule that applies to the traditional football game that we're used to here in the States. Ball must go 10 yards.
Yeah, like touchback rule.
Yep.
I saw it earlier with a touchback rule as well. I think I think it's like 30 yards the ball has to travel or something, because usually you'll see them aim it for a corner, say about the 20-yard line on the football lines, and then they'll try and like match there. So I think that's usually about like the perfect position that most teams aim for.
Michigan has possession of it now after Adrian got it into the offensive side of the field, their try zone, but not able to hang on to it.
Oh, here we go. 21's the number 10 from earlier with 3 tries on the day, or 4 tries on the day now, is it? So
yeah, 4 tries on the day.
Someone to keep an eye on if you're Adrian for sure.
Michigan looks like they're putting back out their starting line from game number 1. That was the game that Adrian tied at 10.
I'm interested to see how Adrian does here. They're going to have short turnaround, tired legs, I'm sure, but time to dig deep.
That's the other thing, is adding this game is how can this team compete? Are they ready? Are they conditioned for this situation?
Especially because I'm sure they didn't know before kicking off the last game that they were going to have another one to go, so I'm sure they left it all out in the end.
You could tell at that last possession of that last game, they were all fighting for that last score.
Yeah, it was a battle down.
Yep, so knock on there.
Knocked forward.
Yep.
Because when you hear that term knock on, that is a foul penalty, and it will result in a scrum here for the Bulldogs.
There's been a number of scrums here today. It's more than I'm used to. I'm not sure if it's part of just being sevens, because with the shorter game, you want to sort of take the tempo out of it a little bit. But usually if it's something like a knock-on in 15s, you'll just see them pick them up, take the little kick to themselves, and go off on a run. So
Official not happy with the bind once again, so we'll reset. Crouch, bind, set. And it's sent in.
something that I haven't seen here today that you will see in 15s more often is sometimes you'll see a collapse of the scrum, which is where one side sort of bends down and as it goes collapses. Usually that ends up in another sort of penalty that's better than a scrum. So
Adrian has some room. Sends it back, trying to get it to the outside. It's on the floor, picked up, and a penalty. It will be awarded to the Wolverines.
I think they're calling another knock on there. I think it was 9 for Adrian, tried to turn the corner, dropped the ball just in front of her, but if it rolls anywhere forward, it's counted as a knock on, unfortunately. So
and that might just come from the inexperience that the Bulldogs might have. I do know there's some non-traditional recruits that were already on campus here that decided to join this team, learning rugby for the first time as well, just like us up here in the booth.
And it's a rugby ball. Sometimes weird things happen. It's going to fall. It's going to bounce. So you just got to try and help out, figure it out. So I think we're going to get a line out here, it looks like.
It's only our, I believe, third one of the day. We haven't really gotten a chance to explain it, so I'm going to have Robert take it over for us and kind of – I tried to explain it, but you've seen how my knowledge is today.
Hey, no. It's all good. We're all learning here. So this is the line out. Usually there's – one team has to put it in. It's usually whichever team doesn't whichever team didn't touch it last. So that's similar to, say, a soccer throw-in. Oh, hang on. I think it's going to be yellow. Yep. So it will be – I think it's a 5-minute sin bin. I think – could be shorter, but I think it's 5 minutes here. So we're going to have man disadvantage here for the Adrian ladies for, I assume, till the end of the half, and then if they don't score, it'll continue onwards. Let's move back to the line out really quickly. It's a bit like a throw-in soccer. You have to throw it in between the two teams officially. I mean, every team you ever watch will throw it with a little bit of bias towards their guy. But you throw it high, and rather than make it a 50-50 ball, especially in professionals or 15s rugby, you will see them move up and down the line. They'll have about 6 people in a line, and then they'll like sort of dummy which guy they're going to pick up, and then they'll pick up that guy and throw it. It's just the safest way of trying to get the ball in play, they find usually.
So the lift isn't necessary. It's not a requirement.
There's no requirement with lifting, but you're allowed to lift, and it gives you an advantage if you know where you're going to go. So if you can throw it higher and you can lift a dude up that high to grab it, you're going to do it because it's just the safest way of getting the ball in play.
Michigan with possession of it here, trying to get the first points on the board here in game number 4 of the day, game number 3 between these two teams.
I believe calling back for advantage here. Whenever there's a penalty called as well, the opposing team that gives away the penalty, they have to step 10 yards back. So they have to give sort of like a line so that the other team can at least step into the play.
Okay.
That's why you see the gentleman here on the near side with his flag out. He's just holding it for where they have to stand their line.
Kick in and a knock off here. Knock on, my apologies. We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out up here.
You're learning.
I'm hearing Robert use certain terms. I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw that into the broadcast now. Knock on, hit off of the chest of the Wolverine. And like you mentioned, even if you don't get a say in it, even if you weren't trying to cough it up, rules are rules.
I'm just keeping an eye on the sideline here. I'm trying to figure out when the Adrian with the card is allowed to come back in, because I think I just heard them shout 30 seconds, so maybe it's only a 2 minute sin bin instead of 5. I know in 15s it's 10 minutes, but maybe just because the game's so short, it's only 2 here.
1 minute left to go in half number 1. There is the advantage coming back in, so it is 7-on-7.
So it must be 2 minutes for a sin bin in 7s then.
And that, again, you mentioned it just because of the time crunch. Only a 7-minute half. Try and make those adjustments.
Good defense from Adrian, though. They were able to get a knock-on penalty in the middle there, and then they were able to get the man back on, which is always good to see.
A little confusion on the lateral. But Adrian is going to get awarded the ball. It was a pass attempt back, and Adrian wasn't able to keep possession of it. But now they get to go. Quick reset here. Pass back over, trying to get to the outside. Taken down. Adrian on top of it. Finds it on the turf, picks it up, and gets it on the outside.
Ooh, that's a good tackle.
Back down.
Good open field tackle.
This has been something that we've liked seeing today, Robert, as there's been a lot of good tackling from both teams. We've only had one high tackle call.
The thinking with rugby as well, like what they practice, a big part of what they practice is proper tackle technique. It's really about lowering your body down, getting low, hitting them through the shoulder and sort of like the chest area or maybe the stomach, or hit them through the legs. It's really important in rugby because there is no padding. You have no extra protection that you tackle properly. It's not like football in that sense.
Some will even say, Dustin, I know you played football as well, is I remember going into some practices at the high school level, and they would traditionally, I actually watched a rugby tackling video. That's how they wanted us to learn how to tackle. So you see that because it's one of the, even with the no padding, rugby, having no padding, can be traditionally one of the safest sports in terms of tackling because of that proper technique.
All I know is whoever is teaching our girls the proper technique of tackling maybe needs to go ahead and go to the football team's practice and give them some
They've
pointers.
done some really good tackling today.
Yeah.
Like, I've been
Really
very
good. They're
impressed.
wrapping
It's
up.
been
They're
really
breaking
good.
down.
Destin
Maybe they might need some help.
Boy.
Destin is still salty about the 48-20 loss last night for the Bulldogs.
I am very salty.
To
it's
be
a
fair,
really good Heidelberg
They played
team.
Heidelberg.
Yeah.
Heidelberg's a good team, aren't they? So
Number 24 in the country last night came to Adrian. That was more of a handoff there from the Wolverines, and still allowed.
this has been well worked by them, sideline to sideline, but now it's out. Is he calling the knock on? Either way, halftime.
End of the half.
Either way.
Ball went out of bounds. That ends the half. This game is tied. It's scoreless. 0-0 as we go into the halftime break. We'll be right back here on ACTV. Adrian College looking for win number 2 in program history. Stay tuned here on ACTV.
You're going to college. All the hard work's paid off. It's going to be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. New friends, new athletic teams, new musical groups, new student government to get involved in, 85 organizations. It's going to be amazing. And I think one of the first things that you'll realize when you get here, at least I hope this is the case, is that although academics are the most important thing, no doubt about it, got to take care of the academics, time management, not a kid anymore, right? Young adult. The college is a whole lot more than that in a place like this. It is an experience. College is an experience that will last you for the rest of your life. The relationships that you make here, the memories, the late night stuff, the whole 9 yards is just going to be great.
Welcome back here on the Adrian College TV YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and tuning in for the first ever women's rugby match and first ever home rugby match in school history. Matt Kibbe, Dustin Foy, Robert Precious with us up here in the booth. We've been in for a good one so far. Now, we were talking in the break, Robert, about kind of the style of game that we've seen today, and you mentioned it. There is an ability that you can kick forward and go after the ball. You've talked a lot about how much open space there is in sevens, but we mentioned it. We've only been playing from about the 30-yard line of the football field to the other 30-yard line. Not much room going on there. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Oh, so one of the big things with rugby is you have to pass backwards, but you can only pass backwards with your hands. You can kick it forward. So I think something that would be interesting, I don't know how much the coaches have worked on it. Kicking in rugby is a difficult technique to master, especially because of the bounce of the ball. But I think it'd be interesting to see if somebody would take it from, say, their 40-yard line and just knock it over the back of the other team. See what they do. if you have somebody who's making a run onto it, sometimes the ball will bounce your way because the person will be running under it. It's a rugby ball. It takes a huge skip, and all of a sudden something happens. I think maybe just because we've seen a slower game, I think it's partially because of the heat. It's been a long day, third, fourth game of the day for some of these players. I think that could be something that might change the game to where maybe that's where the next try comes from.
So this is game number 4. This, to my knowledge, this is the last half we will play. We're not going to play a game number 5. But this is game number 4, half number 2, 7 minutes up on the board. 0-0 is our score. Michigan will get possession to start after the opening kick.
So as we noted in the first half, kick didn't go more than, I think, like 10, 15 yards, so they have to bring it back to the half line.
But she just
somebody didn't understand the rules there, I don't think. Somebody didn't understand what was going on.
She was gone.
I mean, it was a good tackle, don't get me wrong, but that wasn't the time to do it.
Yeah, she made it look like play was on, but she was just trying to get back so she could get started.
Well, that's the thing about sevens, because you only have 7 minutes, so you're running to and from every penalty, especially if the ball's a long way away. You're making it there.
This one's getting through, number 21 for the Wolverines. She switched jerseys, but, man, has she been dominant for this Wolverine team.
I will say that was a very good tackle from 14 on Adrian there, because she was between the lines. She could have been gone quite easily.
Back with it, trying to get it to the outside. Spin move on, a nice little deke there for the Wolverines, trying to get in. Already a minute gone here in the second half, a scoreless game. It feels like the first try in this game could be the winner, and it looks like there it is. The University of Michigan Wolverines will get the first try in the second half, and they will take a 5-0 lead over the Adrian College Bulldogs.
Well, we said it was coming. It had to come at some point, I think. Going wide in this case finally didn't go through the middle. Somebody managed to go around the outside. In this case, it was Michigan. It's the difference that this game needed so far.
Hopefully, Adrian can answer on the other end.
They'll get a chance, that's for sure. They will get one chance. Whether they convert on it, that's to be seen. But there will be a chance in this game for sure. There's 5 minutes, long time in sevens.
Conversion no good, so the score will remain 5-0.
It's a shame as well. I thought Adrian had it well defended. They had people out on the far side to protect against the weak side, sort of switch across. Fortunately, weren't able to keep the ball in that area.
So we will see a kick here to give possession back to the Bulldogs. Sent long. Picked up by the Bulldogs. It was actually caught on the fly. Now dropped back on the floor, picked up by the Bulldogs. Now with it and the near side, coming back. A little bit of confusion on the turf. There is a penalty call, and it will be awarded to the Wolverines.
Yeah, that one, another knock on today. I think passes have been going a little wayward. People trying to pass as they're being tackled is always difficult to do. Maybe on another day you get the pass out, maybe a split second earlier, then your teammate has an easier job of receiving it. But days like this, it's going to happen.
Especially if they're playing 4 games.
It's difficult enough playing one Rugby 7 game. Don't tell me we're playing 4.
Michigan trying to take a 2-possession lead. On the outside.
Really good tackle there.
Saved a try there. Still with it are the Wolverines on the sideline, and a flag goes up. Is that an out of bounds?
I believe so, yes. That's my guess is that would be a line out.
It looks like that's what we're setting up here. We will have our 4th line out of the afternoon. 3:35 and counting. It will take another last-second miracle here for the Bulldogs.
We've seen it once. It can happen again.
Once again, the conversion could play a big factor here. There's the throw in or the line out. Bulldogs have it, trying to find room, trying to break through the outside, cut back up the middle.
Like a high tackle to me.
And there is a whistle.
There it is.
It will be called a high tackle, and that's a yellow card, so this will be a 2-minute advantage. This could be huge for the Bulldogs.
So I think as we've found out from earlier in the game, it will be a 2-minute sin bin. So this will be going on till about the minute mark for Adrian. This is the time they need to capitalize.
7 on 6. Keep the ball in your possession. And we have a
Looks like a forward letter or something.
knock on once again. So this will
I
lead
think
to a
that one was
scrum.
forward pass. Now, if you're Michigan, this is great news because you can settle down the tempo of the game. You can sort of hold it. Maybe you take a couple extra seconds with your put in at the scrum. Like, this is a time that you want to waste if you're Michigan. So for Adrian, penalties are the worst thing that can happen for you right now because you want the game to be moving.
Here's the put in. Michigan now has possession of it. And running on the outside, breaking free tackle from behind. A nice save for the Bulldogs. It's on the floor trying to pick it up. Back with are the Wolverines, and who else to have it but number 21. Back in it, trying to get a try. Taken down and puts it on, and it is a try. A short-handed try. Makes it 10-0 for the Michigan Wolverines.
That was well done by Michigan. Unfortunately, Adrian's defensive line there was a little out of line. They didn't have anybody committed on the far side of the field when the scrum was originally put in, so they were allowed to go around the outside. Then in trying to recover, everybody moved across, and they didn't have enough to counteract on the other side. So
the conversion was no good, so the score will remain 10-0 here. Bulldogs going to have to climb out of a big hole here.
I've seen it happen. I will say I've seen it happen. You can get 2 tries in a minute.
Big field to go. It's going to be big if you can find a seam on this kick.
And Michigan still have 6 for the time being. I'm not quite sure when 10 will be allowed back on, but they still have 6 for the time being, so you got to take advantage of it this time.
Bulldogs with it, trying to break free. Going through, dragging defenders were the Bulldogs, and it's picked up and sent back. Trying to get on the outside, playing in a dangerous zone along the out-of-bounds line, and it is called out of bounds. 38 seconds and counting.
So Simbin's over, back to 7 apiece.
Last 30 seconds here. But, again, play will continue once the clock hits 0. We saw that in the first half. Played about an extra 2 minutes before the half was officially called. Michigan takes the line out. Finding it. Trying to get possession back. Adrian's going to do everything they can. It's on the floor. Picked up by the Bulldogs.
Really well done.
Trying to get to the outside.
Go on.
Wrapping around the
She's
corner.
gone.
Down. Has room. Heading into the try zone. Nobody behind her. Nobody in front of her. And it's a try for the Adrian College Bulldogs. There is still life.
That's what we call a solo effort right there. Made the tackle, got back up, picked up the ball from the other team, and then ran all the way around the outside as well.
The clock has hit 0. That is an important note here. Once the play is dead, we will see the end of this game. Adrian still has life. The kickoff will be important. The conversion, no good. All they can do now is tie this game up. That conversion.
I think that's game, unfortunately. I think because once you got to the try line, it was after the 0-second mark, so they don't get to do any more. But, hey, all in all, I think it was a great first day.
Final score here today is going to be 10-5 in favor of the University of Michigan Wolverines. The Bulldogs do a little bit of everything today. Officially now 1-1-1 in program history. Started off with a tie, had the first win in program history, and now, unfortunately, the first loss in program history. A great day of rugby between these teams. I'm going to play a quick 4-minute video. It's going to be the campus tour video once again. I'm going to go and try and see if we can get Coach up here to talk to him a little bit. All right, folks? So we're going to take a quick break. Final score here in game number 4, 10-5 in favor of the University of Michigan Wolverines. We'll be right back here on ACTV.
Welcome to Adrian, Michigan. We're located in a proud college town. Adrian College is situated just 45 minutes from Ann Arbor, Detroit, and Toledo. We're very excited to show you just a little bit of what AC has to offer. This is the gateway to our campus. Welcome to the place that we believe will change the rest of your life. AC features one of the most well-rounded educational experiences in the country. We offer over 60 different academic majors, and 10 academic institutes, as well as dozens of student organizations. Year after year, we've been ranked as one of the nation's best colleges, including being one of the most innovative institutions in the U.S. for our medical programs. Our campus is simply beautiful. Our student-to-faculty ratio is an incredible 13-to-1. That means more attention for you and a much better overall learning environment. We know how to put together an education that is life-changing, and these are just some of the highlights. From our communication arts program, to our many performing arts, to the home of business on campus, to our sciences and medical studies, we have the spaces where you can grow into the professional that you want to become. Our first-year student experience is award-winning. You'll make lifelong friends here, meet mentors, and maybe even meet that special someone. The Kane Student Center is open 24 hours a day, and there's a lot going on here. The Bulldog Beanery has all of your hot drinks. Pause and Go is our on-campus convenience store. The bookstore is where you'll get all of your Bulldog gear, and you can just hang out and study in the skyboxes. Not far away is the Shipman Library. The Shipman has quiet, relaxing spaces for you to study in. You can check out books from thousands of libraries around the country, and the Shipman is open 24 hours as well for your convenience. There are hundreds of learning opportunities on campus. In addition to the arts and beautiful facilities, Adrian College is known for its athletic programs. There is nothing like a Saturday game day here in Adrian. The Bulldog football team are 11-time MIAA champions. At Docking Stadium, fans watch soccer, lacrosse, football, and more. Just a few hundred yards away, Adrian College's basketball teams compete. In addition to basketball, fans can enjoy wrestling, acro and tumbling, and volleyball here. We also have a state-of-the-art weight room available to all of our students. When things heat up too much on campus, you can cool off with our ice sports. Our NCAA ice hockey teams are constantly battling in the national playoffs. Just a quick walk down the service drive, we feature one of the best baseball and softball programs in the nation at our level. Soon you'll be able to cross the street and watch men's and women's rugby take to the pitch as well. Our rowing, crew, and top-ranked bass fishing programs compete out of the Adrian College Boathouse, a gorgeous facility just a 15-minute drive north on Devil's Lake. Our students know how to relax in their downtime. When they're not out and about, we have dozens of housing options on campus. With apartments right in the mix of things, you can pick what works best for you. We've also recently renovated a few of our housing options. Adrian College is a Methodist-affiliated institution that has been changing lives since 1859. The modern liberal arts education offered by our faculty is unrivaled. We can't wait to have you on campus and show you around. Visit adrian.edu to schedule a full campus visit today. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back here on the campus of Adrian College. The final score in game number 4 of the day, 10-5 in favor of the University of Michigan Wolverines. But that doesn't overlook the fact that this women's rugby team is now in their career as a program, in their program history, 1-1-1. They did a little bit of everything today against the University of Michigan. Started off with a tie, 10-10, and then beat the University of Michigan by a final score of 12-10. And then, after that, they lost, unfortunately, 10-5. Matt Kibbe, Destin Foy, Robert Precious up here in the booth. We got an interview coming with the head coach for this women's rugby team, and it's going to be exciting to hear about what his thoughts are about his team and what he learned in this quadruple header for this women's rugby team. Well, really, they played a triple header. The University of Michigan had to play a quadruple header. But It was a great game overall. We're going to take a quick break and let Coach get up here before we start our interview with him. We'll be right back here on Adrian College TV.
What if you didn't choose to become an Adrian College Bulldog? Surely you would have carried on with your education and could potentially be graduating elsewhere. But what would you have the honor of greeting Bruiser on campus? Would you have had the privilege of working alongside faculty that know your name? Would you have had the opportunity to learn and grow in an environment that is seeking the truth and dignity in all people? Would you have had a creative learning environment that is supportive of challenging you and achieving excellence in your academics, but also your personal and professional lives? This has been Adrian College's promise to us. Just as our families have promised to love us unconditionally and support us through the many peaks and valleys of our lives, Adrian offered a similar promise to us when they realized our potential by asking us to join them.
Unfortunately, commencement, it was a great day. You don't need to see the rest of that video. You'll see it all throughout the time here on the campus of Adrian College. But a special interview here with Coach Goulden from this women's rugby team. Coach, really a fantastic day for your program. Started off with a tie, and then you go in game number 2 after the Michigan scrimmage. You see your first win in program history. It felt like, oh, we're going to end on the high note. And then unfortunately we go, hey, we're going to play game number 4 on the day. And in that one you see a little loss, but almost an exciting ending and almost a huge comeback for your team. What did you like out of your team today?
I just like to see the hard work. You didn't see the hesitation you see a lot with new players or even players that went from high school to the college level. They were aggressive, playing well. Our tackling looked great. I mean, that was like, as a new program, that's like one of the biggest things you worry about is the tackling and the hitting. And I think you could see it on the field that these girls were ready to hit. They came out firing, especially in that second match. Even in the third one, they were coming out firing and just wanted to hit somebody.
What does it mean, like, for you as a program, the rugby family, both first victories coming against the University of Michigan? What's that like?
It's pretty awesome. I mean, it's incredible that we can put these programs together and in such a short time put a product on the field and pull off a victory or two. It's unbelievable. You don't see it too often with new programs, but Adrian Rugby is going to be taking the world by storm. So.
As the new coach here, first win in your coaching career on the staff of Adrian College, not in your coaching career, but what does that mean for you on a personal level?
Honestly, it means a lot. It's kind of a big weight off the shoulder. It's you no matter how long I feel like I'm going to be coaching or even as an athlete, you're always nervous. A couple of my players were joking with me before the game. They were like, "Coach, you look like you're going to be sick." And I'm like, that's how nervous I am. So, I try to soak up all the nerves out of them. So then that way, they can just go out and play and have fun and, put some tries on the board.
It's been a long time coming from the back 40 where that temporary field is located all the way over here now to Docking Stadium. What's the message to the players after all the hard work they've put in here this year?
Oh, we're just incredibly proud of them. I mean, I don't think we could be any more proud with how they came out. Obviously you always want to win every game, but that's not always the case. But, they never gave up. We pushed to the very end, and, we're just incredibly proud.
Now, this is a new program for sure. Talk about the recruitment process. How did you get the girls in, and, what was your speech to them to get them to buy into this team?
The recruiting process, I mean, I started in November, so, we got a little late start than most coaches because, recruiting never ends. But, you just sell the school, you sell the culture. Luckily Adrian and the athletics facilities sell themselves, which is a huge thing. We were able to we had a high school girls 15s tournament in the spring. We had a 7s tournament this past summer. So just different ways to get girls on campus, because it's always hard to get athletes on campus because they're always playing sports and, it's hard to find a time to get them here.
I thought from a fundamental perspective, the team looked really good. But where do you go next? Like, you've only had 2 weeks here-ish now. Where do you go next? What do you got to do planned?
Oh, we got a lot of work. There's still more to do. We like you said, the fundamentals is where it starts, and you just build from there. We got to clean up some passing, some handling. Communication was an issue at times, but those little things will come. And I think as the girls play more, the more confidence they gain, the better they'll be, and the more they know the sport, the rules, everything. We'll be headed in the right track.
An awesome day for women's rugby on the campus of Adrian College. Coach Goulden joining us up here in the booth. We appreciate your time coming up to talk to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Anytime.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. That's going to do it for us here on ACTV. A great day for women's rugby. They do a little bit of everything. A first tie in program history, first win in program history, capped off by, unfortunately, the first loss in program history. An all-around great day over the University of Michigan. We thank you for tuning in here on ACTV. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned, or have a great weekend. Stay safe. That's the thing. I don't know is that how we end it?
That's how we end it.
That's how we end it?
That's how we end it.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy a safe Labor Day as well. And thank you for tuning in on Adrian College TV. For Robert Precious, Destin Foy, I'm Matt Kibbe. An all-around great day. Women's rugby goes 1-1-1 to start off their program history.
What if you didn't choose to become an Adrian College Bulldog? Surely you would have carried on with your education and could potentially be graduating elsewhere. But what would you have the honor of greeting Bruiser on campus? Would you have had the privilege of working alongside faculty that know your name? Would you have had the opportunity to learn and grow in an environment that is seeking the truth and dignity in all people? Would you have had a creative learning environment that is supportive of challenging you and achieving excellence in your academics, but also your personal and professional lives? This has been Adrian College's promise to us. Just as our families have promised to love us unconditionally and support us through the many peaks and valleys of our lives, Adrian offered a similar promise to us when they realized our potential by asking us to join them. While we have been busy navigating the many what-ifs of our time, none of which we could have imagined, we have indeed found the cane that holds our ribbons of excellence at Adrian to stand strong. Strength and tradition. A tradition that carries on from graduating class to graduating class. A symbolic reminder of the leadership carrying the motto, no victory without work. The Adrian College class of 2021 can proudly proclaim that we have earned our ribbon of excellence for persevering through a pandemic because of our hard work. We have had to learn how to best navigate the many what-ifs in uncharted times. While some of the what-ifs have been answered, it is now up to each of us to embrace and navigate on our own. What if I take that job? What if I decide to continue on for postgraduate endeavors? What if I decide this? What if I decide that? No matter what, you'll be able to face your tomorrow knowing that you are a member of a pack, the Adrian College Bulldogs class of 2021.
Part of the family here at Adrian College are the friends we've made. These friends have gone to games with you, shared late night tales with you, explored downtown with you, and joked around with you at Ritchie. They were in the library with you at midnight studying for the 8 a.m. exam you forgot to study for. And they're there when you cried because you failed that exam. These friends are your new family members now. You will stay in touch with them forever, even if it's just liking their Facebook post about the new puppy they just got. Parents, family, and friends, we cannot thank you enough for everything you have done for us. Thank you for the support and the opportunity for this moment to graduate from Adrian College. You have helped us reach our dreams and goals in life. Congratulations, class of 2021. We finally made it.